Chat, here we go. We have a 1v1. It's a North American 1v1. It's Atomic from G2 versus LionBlaze from M80. Or at least, is M80? What's the deal with M80? I'm not sure. LionBlaze's avatar is still M80, so I'm calling him M80's LionBlaze. Disbanded, says chat. M80 dropped. Well, he's still repping it for him, so they're getting free advertising if M80 is no longer in the scene. We have a LionBlaze versus Atomic. Now, neither one of these guys are debuting, but both of them haven't played a ton recently. I mean, I guess you could argue Atomic has because he played a bit in preparation for Gamers 8, in which he only had to play 2 1v1s there. He played one against Joyas and one against AJ, and he won the one against AJ and lost the one against Joyas. Now, not a bad performance, especially because Joyas, I felt like, upped his game in those best of ones. He's a tough guy to beat in a best of one. So where Atomic lays in the field of North American players is hard to say, or lies, I should say, in the field of North American players. The one good way to test him is to put him up against a guy that has been playing a lot of ones recently. LionBlaze, I think, is probably #1 North America. I didn't actually double check that, but I think he's in the top 5, and I want to say Moxie and Yan, I guess, is ahead of him, which you could argue is a North American player. Although I think Yan is back to South America now for who knows how long, because I don't know when the next Rocket League thing is that's happening. But at least for now, that's where he's at. LionBlaze is a top runs player who has taken a break from the mode a little bit. I think he's been really busy with CRL and RLCS, both, as he dashes his way back in front of the net. I think the combination of those two didn't really leave a lot of time for focusing on ones or playing in ones matches, not to mention that being in CRL implies that he's in college, so I think he had a lot of stuff to do. But recently he's been streaming more, and alongside streaming, he said he's been playing ones. Atomic is going to double this off the backboard, and although he's not able to score on the initial take, he will follow it up quickly, as LionBlaze had committed on the initial save. What was up with AJ at Gamers 8? You know, I keep saying this. I was saying this before the match started today, and I think this YouTube video will upload probably after the one that I'm referring to, but I think I'm going to talk about why certain players played so well in Gamers 8 versus others, and just my thoughts on all of that other than Ruas. Today's video was about Ruas because his is pretty straightforward. He just held up to his name. But I'll explain why I think certain players played well, others struggled, and the reason for that. That'll kind of include, people were asking about Daniel, about AJ, maybe didn't play to the level that they're used to. I think that will explain it. So I can't spoil my own videos. Thank you, Dazarin, for the raid, my man. Atomic able to get a kickoff goal to keep this close. LionBlaze the one pulling away with the lead, but always returned by Atomic. I think Atomic could be a really high level, like, in the rankings in North America 1v1er, but I just think we haven't seen enough from him yet. But everything I see from him when I watch him play seems really solid. I think his last match, maybe before this one, was against Shoddy, the one that wasn't a best of one, and Shoddy is a good player. And Atomic made Shoddy look like Shoddy was not a good player. I mean, I don't know. I like Shoddy. I still think Shoddy's really solid and has been continuing to grind, so I'm sure we'll have Shoddy on more. But Atomic looked in full control of that match last time he played. And, you know, LionBlaze, a guy who's been in the 1 seed for a long time, Turf Wars winner, and currently in form, you would assume, considering how highly rated it is, still might fall to Atomic, who doesn't play as much ones, but seems to be a solid player in the mode. His Gamers 8 was solid. Yeah, I looked back at his Gamers 8. He actually only really played 2 1v1s. But I would still agree that his performance was solid, with wins over AJ, and I think it was a somewhat close game against Joyas, but Joyas did win. Now, at that point, that was the Joyas that had just beat Zen, or would soon beat Zen. So certainly a tough player to beat. I mean, I talked about it on Twitter, but Joyas in best of 1 is a tough egg to crack. Atomic bumped onto the back wall. He's falling in front of the ball, which is not great, but LionBlaze, who's shadowed, didn't really have an opportunity to turn quickly in demo. Atomic's on the back line now with pads to work with. Has to be careful, but he does a good job of doing so. Fights for that low 50 before buying himself a bit of time. Any info on Zen playing once again? I think he will. I think the only reason why you didn't see Zen in the tournaments before Gamers 8 is because he just got off of winning a world championship. And coming off of winning a world championship, to me, is a time to just kind of chill a little bit and not, you know, quickly play another tournament, lose, and then it no longer feels like you're a champion anymore. Not to say that Zen would necessarily lose. He might win it, but I don't know. I don't want to sit in my world championship for a bit. I think there were potential other reasons, like trying to hide playstyle maybe from other players. But if you ask me, I would guess that the biggest reason is, or at least what I would advise almost, is just chill. Enjoy your world championship victory and worry about the next tournament when it comes. What a pinch from Atomic. It's not going to be in because LionBlaze is already back. You and Octane? Yeah, LionBlaze is an Octane player. In fact, he has a iconic Octane that he uses a lot. It is red, but it's not this one. I think it's the Lone Wolf, right? I'm trying to remember. It's one of those things I know I would know it if he was using it. It might not be Lone Wolf, but you guys might remember what I'm talking about. Atomic right now up 5-4 as he looks to start another wall to air dribble. Probably going to play this one safe in the final moments, I would imagine. No, actually, he does go for the musty, and that might put him out of position for LionBlaze counterattack. Yeah, it's for free. I mean, maybe it was more of advice. Maybe it wasn't so much expectation of Atomic, but rather me trying to help him out, which is that he should not have gone for a shot. That was begging for a aerial 50 or, you know, a take to the ground. But you could argue maybe Atomic trying to surprise him. Thought for sure LionBlaze would expect the safe play. Could beat him with a flick, but yeah, I don't know. I still think it was a bit of a mistake. Atomic zap dashing his way back out to the ball, though. It's going to fall right on top of his card, and pre-flip will win him the game. So Atomic still takes game number 1 off of a nice recovery out of the nets. Able to launch that right back into himself and win it 6-5. Game number 1 going to Atomic. He takes the lead over the 1v1 vet. Game number 2. The CRL 2022 World Champion versus the RLCS World Championship finalist. Who's going to have the edge? In game number 2, it's looking like the World Championship finalist. The nice air dribble resets into the top shelf. My dog doesn't seem to agree. He's a really big LionBlaze fan, and he's appalled at the idea of suggesting that Atomic might be able to win. Atomic cannot get back down. Should have been able to control this. Sorry. What's the dog doing? I've talked about this before, but I am right next to the front door. Right next to the front door. So if something gets like delivered or someone shows up, then he is not a big fan of that. Air dribble bump from Atomic. The ball a bit too high. I might have to go see, actually, because not normally does this go on for this long. So someone might actually be there. All right, sorry about that. I am back. The dog was correct. Someone needed me to sign for a package. Wait, did I miss a pogo or are you lying to me? I can't tell if you're trying to if you're trying to bait me because I had to walk away. Pogo attempt. He missed. Oh, of course. Of course I have to step away and someone goes for a pogo. Brutal. It was top right slot. No, you've been outed. A few people said it was an attempt. Oh. It was an atomic. I assume it was atomic. I would be blown away if you told me that LionBlaze went for a pogo attempt. LionBlaze demo at the midfield. Bounce dribble leads to a slight flick. The respawn of Atomic must have had him a bit panicked here. Oh, he missed the boost and had to half flip back and then was just all out of sorts. I think he was still in a position to make a better save attempt than that, but just mentally one step behind after having to reverse back into that corner boost. Atomic trying to just power a shot past LionBlaze. LionBlaze normally the kind of guy to want to slow the game down, force you to play his style. He's going to get another demo, though. Should be a 5-1 lead for him. I saw on Twitter, Wavy, I believe it was, complaining about LionBlaze's delay kickoffs. He did that in Turf Wars against Zapatos, which was, you know, a time when the wave dash kickoff was maybe not quite as used, but Zapatos was using it almost exclusively, and it is such a solid counter to that. He is more than willing to make that kind of adjustment. Atomic's going to flick top left. I was talking to Reddles at Gamers 8, and he made a point that I think I maybe agree with, which is that he believes that the game of ones is evolving to the point where you will almost never see what happened right now, which is two players going for a standard kickoff, one of them winning it and instantly scoring, and he expects to see a much bigger shift towards delays, fakes, you know, half flips on the kickoff, just something other than basically risking the standard kickoff. I could see a world where that happens. It seems to be so volatile with the standard kickoffs. Pinch from Atomic. LionBlaze not able to get a very solid touch, but actually forces his way to the midfield. And Atomic has to make a last-second change. And now he's going to be counterattacking for his fourth goal. LionBlaze has been chasing after a lot of boost steals, a lot of demos. Sometimes that can make yourself, but sometimes you can find yourself on the wrong side of the play. Atomic reset right near the ceiling. Really great position. Oh, what a save from LionBlaze. You have to give him so much credit. That setup from LionBlaze, or sorry, from Atomic, was threatening absolutely everything. This double's going to be in. My internet effed for a slight second, and I think it was right on Atomic's air dribble too. Right on Atomic's air dribble as it came to the ground. Nobody else got to see how it ended. It was LionBlaze making a spectacular save because Atomic set that dribble up about as well as he possibly could, threatening every part of the net. Is the stream lag still there? My OBS says I've stopped dropping frames. I've had a couple of internet issues recently. I actually tried to call the ISP about it. They said that it looked like their connection was really stable and that it was my router's fault or my modem's fault. So of course I instantly upgraded that. And so hopefully we will not have any issues going forward. And on occasion the internet dies out. That's no different, but if it becomes too regular, that'll be time to worry. If you follow, his internet gets better, yeah. Atomic not able to affect that kickoff goal. He worked his way back, after being down. Looked like LionBlaze was going to try and dominate a whole game. But there's that delayed kickoff that we saw Wavy complaining about on Twitter. But it is a smart play. And Atomic gets himself demoed. Recovers for the save this time. Actually has a great advantage now. He tried to play the dribble quickly in order to capitalize on it, but he just barely was able to get something out of it after he had fallen in front of the ball during the dribble. He has LionBlaze pinned back. 30 seconds to get something nice. He gets a great shot right into the bottom left corner. And at this point, he's being forced to use that reset or to play through the air, which is a good idea from LionBlaze, especially late in the game when Atomic's going to be trying to go for the more reliable fake type catch shots. But that does mean that if Atomic rises to the occasion, he might have an open net to slot for a reset shot. For now, he's tied the game. LionBlaze not able to pop this ball up out of Atomic's way or make any sort of touch to help pinch it off target. Interesting kickoff. Did we see an adjustment from Atomic? This is not in. And I think LionBlaze kind of went all in himself. And Atomic is actually going to take advantage of that fact and pop the ball up so he can get back to it. Instead of grounding it, he's going to give himself a chance in overtime, but wasn't able to get anything out of it. So now, big kickoff on the diagonal. Will we see a huge delay from LionBlaze? I think we see it from him very often on the full diagonals, as that's a hard position to delay from and get away with. It's usually more on the straight shot ones where the player is very likely to tap it right at you. Atomic, low committal shot on target. Single jump shot. Less about that shot and more about the extended possession. Now he's going to try and go the full distance of the field. Pass to himself off of the ceiling and forced to go safe. Like I said before, I do think Atomic, had he made it to the net, probably would have used the reset now that he's seen the way that LionBlaze has been defending, but this time around, he was a bit too ambitious on the dribble from the beginning. Couldn't get it all the way to the net. He's missed this one just close enough to force LionBlaze in the air without him being able to make a play on the ball. And the follow-up finds LionBlaze at the wrong time. Zero boost after that first shot attempt. See LionBlaze creeping out for a pad. He could have tried to double jump, but he was just in trouble ever since the first setup. And now it is Atomic crawling back and taking it in overtime. 2-0 lead. One more game to take the match. Game number 3. Atomic proven he's got the 1v1 stuff. I think LionBlaze is a solid opponent to snuff out specifically the types of 1v1ers that maybe Atomic is. You know, somebody who doesn't play the mode as much, mostly a 3v3 player who transitions to ones. I think that they can have a really hard time with guys like Moxie, guys like LionBlaze, guys who have a really safe 1v1 style that kind of exposes them for the risks they like to take. But if you can make it through in a test like that, it shows that you're ready for the 1v1 game in general. And Atomic right now has proven it so far. Atomic having to start this dribble from the wrong side of the ball, but that has never discouraged him. Far on the right side of the net, has to fly underneath it for the first touch, knowing he's going to have to work his way back to the ball, and he just uses that to his advantage. Gets the reset and slots it top right, and LionBlaze has done such a good job of not leaving the near post open. And he didn't do it there either, if I'm being honest. It just was put high enough above him. And that is the correct adjustment, the necessary adjustment from Atomic. This goal reminds me of a goal that Zen got in Gamers 8, where LionBlaze recognizes, the ball's rolling my way. All I got to do is go get a couple bumps in a row, and I should be just fine. Proof that the leaderboard doesn't really mean something because Atomic is not even top 50. I wouldn't say it doesn't mean anything, but there are definitely sleepers, certainly in the 1v1 game mode, and, you know, Atomic honestly probably isn't even one. If somebody's as good in threes as Atomic is, I don't think they can really be a sleeper in 1v1 because you have to expect solid gameplay from them. Thinking of like technically Zen at the time when he first started playing ones. To be fair, the first thing he did in ones is he grinded up to like top 5 and then he started doing show matches. But something tells me that had he played matches before he had grinded up, that he still would have done just fine. Atomic trying to use dashing to demo LionBlaze. Atomic, did he turn in field intentionally? I want to see if LionBlaze was going for a demo here too, because so far in the series, LionBlaze has been using these moments to get demos himself. It does look like LionBlaze was just retreating and not turning in towards Atomic. But all of that movement is predicted because LionBlaze is looking to steal the 100. And that makes him have to use a lot of that to retreat back to the ball. A very predictable line, and Atomic gets a demo for it. But kickoff goal for LionBlaze, back in the lead. Okay, Fear, we are in deep trouble. This message, we are seeing the third match with 3:28 left. Restart the stream. I don't think you're that far behind. I think you're maybe slightly behind. You might want to refresh yourself. Maybe that'll bring you back up. Atomic controlling this kickoff. Look at the dash as he comes off the wall. Get that bit extra speed. Stole the corner boost too from LionBlaze. LionBlaze with 0 boost, just trying to walk it down center field. Not able to do so. Atomic to the air. That seems to be where he wants to go by default. It's going to be an eligible bump this time, but it actually doesn't connect on the bump. At least I don't believe so. I think instead he just taps the ball and slows it down. Kind of plays keep away from... Oh, no, he does. He does connect on the bump big time. What am I talking about? Oh, either that or this slowdown made it look like it did. Two-goal lead. The Atomic fans throwing the early GGs. Trying to curse their player. Last time Atomic played on my stream, it was a match that, you know, I felt was fairly evenly matched. Shoddy had shown that he is a competitive 1v1er, and specifically Atomic, I think, has to play on EU servers. But he proved me wrong with a nice 3-0 sweep. He might be doing it again with LionBlaze here. LionBlaze is no easy obstacle to get past, but Atomic trying to make that seem like not the case. LionBlaze double on the kickoff. Atomic went flying by. Not able to recover in time. Missed wave dash kickoff from Atomic and missed midfield boost from LionBlaze. Lion, low resets. Did not commit to flipping on that shot. Decided to play it safer. Now off the wall with an Atomic with only pads to work with. Cannot low 50. LionBlaze was not threatening all the way through that dribble. There was a moment there where we had to recover it, and I think it's moments like that that allow defenders to get a read on your play. Recognize you have to go low and be able to make those saves. It's so important about being in constant control. LionBlaze is going to escape Atomic here to put himself within 2. But if you threaten all the way down during that dribble, that's when you're going to get defenders jumping early, overreacting, trying their best to get saves. Ooh, Atomic, what a boost grab. Single jump, 180ing over the top of the demo attempt while turning himself around to set up the possession. These musties, though, haven't been great. He got LionBlaze to hit the post, which means he's not going to get scored on. He is going to be able to make it back before that possession, and LionBlaze is actually going to give him back another one. Atomic just booming it to the back wall. Corner boost steal, but LionBlaze shouldn't really need it to work with. Maybe not the best of touches to start this. The ball stays glued to the side wall, and his angle of attack completely gone. Atomic reversing away from the demo, but also giving up the goal. Atomic very mindful of the fact that LionBlaze has been wanting to play physical. But LionBlaze doesn't mind. He says, if you're going to back off the ball that much, I get what I want either way. And now 50 seconds for LionBlaze to work it back. We've seen Atomic kind of fighting back in each game before taking the win. Now LionBlaze has to do something similar, and a smooth catch on the kickoff has him tied. Launched in over the top of Atomic. Wave dash kickoff for LionBlaze. Still results in Atomic possession. Definitely a very aggressive play here. Unlike we saw from him earlier, using the flip that low. That bounce could have been a scary one for Atomic. But he's able to catch it on the wall again. LionBlaze, not the 50 he wanted. Could not get back around in front of the ball. So 25 seconds. And it's Atomic with the lead. LionBlaze, that huge delay. He gets to chip it straight up in the air. He should be able to follow it up for a goal, and he does. This is what Wavy was complaining about. But if you're going to roll it straight down the center of the field, specifically if you're going to go wave dash kickoff, which it looks like Atomic was trying to do, that single jump into the ball almost requires the other player there to push you back down slightly, and then you can dash to the ball. But if there's nobody in the vicinity, like LionBlaze likes to do, you're just going to single jump into no man's land, and LionBlaze proves it. But can he stop Atomic here on the goal line? Forced to use a bit of boost. Atomic will steal the corner and play the possession in the back blue half, but this is a better play when the time is not at 0. When it's at 0, not likely you're going to be able to keep it up. So overtime in game number 3. If we had overtime in every game, I think we might have had at least a 1-goal game in every game, if not overtime. But so far, Atomic has been the one to have the edge. LionBlaze from the air to the ground pinch, not threatening like he needs to be if he wants to convert on those aerials. Atomic grabs the 100, and with the boost advantage, immediately tries to pull some boost out of LionBlaze by forcing him high, and doing so enables him to steal this back corner boost and keep the attack going. He goes high again, forces LionBlaze up, but he cannot recover as quickly. LionBlaze actually got to the boost, gets bumped by Atomic, which is an essential bump. Atomic, is he going to come back to this ball? LionBlaze dashed past it, and I think that was still a mistake. He ended up giving the ball to Atomic, who's just going to try and boom on target. And he is not able to starve Lion out this time. All he can do is buy himself time for boost. LionBlaze has a very solid flick. This one, though, not the kind of heat or placement it needed. Now Atomic with 0 needs to be careful. His front flip is going to be forced back in. LionBlaze tried to save it soft, or maybe was forced to, and it's going to be a GG's, a full sweep. A very close sweep, but a sweep nonetheless, as LionBlaze cannot control this save. Well-placed flick right behind him. And Atomic with the 3-0. Another 3-0 for Atomic. It's time to get him against as good of a player as we can find.